Yes, very much.
Okay. श्रीवत्सवंशकलशोदधिकौस्तुभस्य श्रीवासराघवगुरोस्तनयं ततश्च विद्या अवाप्य विबुधोत्तमतां दधानं कुर्वे सदा हृदि गुरुं करुणाकराख्यं लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये मातापिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूढ्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखरयोगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणुपरकालयतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम् श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि. A very quick recap of what we did in the previous lecture. We saw that the four Vedas were summarized by Nammalvar through his works, through the Tamil hymns that he composed. Then we saw a glimpse of Tiruviruttam. One verse was seen by us. We saw about the teachings of Tiruvasiriyam also. And we also talked about what Tiruvaimuri discusses about. So ultimately, we have covered the works done by Nammalvar. Okay, of course, we cannot go and discuss every single hymn. That will take forever because there are more than 1000. But our aim is to understand the crux and then move on because right now the topic is Nammalvar. And from Nammalvar, along with Rammalvar, we are looking at the story of Madhura Kavi Alvar also. Why? Because Madhura Kavi Alvar was the direct disciple of Nammalvar. Now, Madhura Kavi Alvar, we saw about his birth, how he came to meet Nammalvar, how he asked a question. We saw all of that. We also said that he composed a work called Kanninun Siruttambu. It is the only work that has been composed by Madhura Kavi Alvar. If you open the Divya Prabandha, you would find it as the last part in the first 1000 of the 4000 hymns. So Kanninun Siruttambu would complete the first 1000. Who composed it? Of course, Madhura Kavi Alvar. How big is it? Extremely small. Only 11 hymns are there. What do they talk about? They talk about Nammalvar. Interestingly, it talks fully about Nammalvar and not about Bhagavan. How is this fair? Why is it part of the Prabandham? Did Nammalvar write about any other Alvar? He did not. Nammalvar did not write about any other Alvar. He has written only about Bhagavan. Then why should we write 11 hymns totally about Nammalvar itself? No, it is not just about Nammalvar, it is about the greatness of the Acharya. Of course, Madhura Kavi Alvar was fully aware that Bhagavan is the Supreme. He was already a Bhakta. We should remember that he had gone on a Tirtha Yatra before that divine light drove him towards Nammalvar. Plus, he saw that Nammalvar is also having immense bhakti towards Bhagavan. As Nammalvar started teaching, the bhakti that he had, how he was overflowing with devotion, that was visible. So, the very first hymn praises the Krishna bhakti of Nammalvar. It praises Nammalvar. It mentions the Krishna bhakti of Nammalvar as well. What is it really about? It is about Nammalvar himself. We are going to look at this. Why is it so? Why is it suddenly getting peculiar that it is talking about a jiva instead of the Paramatma. Let us try to understand this. That is the aim for today's lecture. We have to understand that Bhagavan is superior. He is supreme. Okay? But Bhagavan, he loves the devotees. Bhagavan loves his own devotees. We know that. More than that, Bhagavan loves the devotees of Acharyas. How so? Acharya here does not refer to any title. Like you finish some MA Sanskrit, they call you Acharya. No. Position. Yes, in the lineage that was 1500 years old, a person called Nityananda became the Acharya. Correct? The Pitha that Nityananda became an Acharya of, it is an ancient one. We know that. He might be modern, but his Pitha is ancient. So, is position enough to have Acharyatva? No, by position you may be called because you are the successor of a person. But that is not enough. Okay, what if I have it in my surname or even my primary name, my first name itself? If I keep name myself as Acharya, no, that is also not going to help. What will really help? It is the property of having Acharyatva. What is this Acharyatva? Acharyatva is the nature of practicing whatever is preached. As Manu says, Agnebhyo granthina shresthaha, granthibhyo jnanino dharino varaha, dharibhyo jnanina shresthaha, and jnanibhyo vyavasayinaha. The masters of the scriptures may all be there, but one level above them are those who are actually practicing that. I might have mastered all the four Vedas, but if I practice nothing, then what am I? I cannot be an Acharya. So, by performing Acharana, one becomes an Acharya. That has to be understood. So, when one becomes a real Acharya, that Acharya is automatically a Bhagavata. Every pure Acharya is by default a Bhagavata. Who is Bhagavata? One who is focused in every way towards Bhagavan through thoughts, words, and actions. Now, as Acharya is Bhagavata, Acharya is a devotee of Bhagavan. Therefore, Bhagavan would love the Acharya. Now, Bhagavan loves the Acharya as his own devotee. But when some person praises Bhagavan, what does Bhagavan think? I am the greatest. It is not a surprise that people like me. I am the most powerful. Therefore, people worship me. I am the most capable. Therefore, people worship me. I can save them from any problem. Therefore, people worship me. People worshipping me as in Bhagavan in that context, as we are saying, Bhagavan would think that way. People worshipping Bhagavan is not a big deal. A considerable population of the world will always acknowledge a supreme being and keep following until late Kali Yuga. Now, the real problem, where is it going to happen? It is going to happen where people do not understand Bhagavan, or it is going to happen where instead of Bhagavan, you are looking at a person who is not the supreme being. Acharya is not the supreme being. All our scriptures say he is not the supreme being, but he should be treated like the supreme being. You go to Shankaracharyas and ask, they will say Shankaracharya is like the Swarupa of Shiva. I am not referring to Adi Shankaracharya, even the current Shankaracharyas. You go to Shankara Mathas and ask, they will say, we respect our Acharyas as though they are Sakshat Lord Shiva. In the same way, in Ramanuja Sampradaya, where we follow Vishishtadvaitha, we say that the Acharya is to be respected like Bhagavan himself. He should be treated like Bhagavan himself. Why is that? Due to being extremely dear to Bhagavan, he receives as much respect as Bhagavan. Also, think about it. Bhagavan is all powerful. Acharya is not all powerful. But showing bhakti to Acharya, therefore, becomes difficult when compared to showing bhakti to Bhagavan. Bhagavan can come in an all attractive form. There are so many people who say, oh, look at Krishna, he is so handsome. I like Krishna because he is so handsome. They would say that. The Acharya might not have a great face to look at. Vedavyasa did not look handsome. But that is how it is. People should still respect them. People should still give them the same respect as Bhagavan. In fact, if they give infinite respect to Bhagavan, they should give a little more respect to the Acharya. What do I mean by little more than infinity? Infinity plus anything is infinity only. But Bhagavan, he is the supreme. If you do not acknowledge him, if you do not respect him, if you insult him, he might not mind that much. Of course, you will suffer if you insult Bhagavan, but he will tolerate for some time. Remember, for example, there was a person called Shishupala. Shishupala insulted Krishna not once, not twice, but 99 times. The 100th time Shishupala insulted Krishna, he lost his head. So, Krishna can patiently listen to all the insults hurled at him. He doesn't have a problem. But if you are to insult a Bhagavata, then Bhagavan will not wait. He will not give you a second chance. If you insult a Bhagavata, Bhagavan will not give you a second chance. He will not wait for two more sins or 99 more sins. He will instantly give punishment, and that punishment will be a very, very powerful one. It would be extremely powerful. So, we are to understand that insulting Bhagavatas is the worst way to insult Bhagavan. It is the worst way to insult Bhagavan. You cannot insult him further. Bhagavan takes maximum offense. And as Acharyas are all Bhagavatas, any kind of insult to the Acharya is the worst insult to Bhagavan. That is how it would be taken. And then, of course, we are to understand that Bhagavan himself cannot be grasped without the Acharya's help. So, we are to understand that Acharya is extremely respectable. Now, a question might arise. Is it okay for us to pray to the Acharya alone? Acharya is very respectable. Yes, agreed. You give all the respect to your Acharya. We are not against you. But why should you give respect only to the Acharya? Why can't you do it to Bhagavan? Of course, Madhura Kavi Alvar has not insulted Bhagavan anywhere. But in all his 11 verses, he has celebrated only his Acharya. You are talking so much about your Acharya. Talk about Bhagavan also. If Acharya is equal to Bhagavan, write 5 verses on Acharya, 5 verses on Bhagavan, 6 verses on Bhagavan. Because your Acharya also wants to lead you there only. Why can't you compose about Bhagavan? Hmm? Swami Deshika in Rahasya Trayasara points out something extremely beautiful. In the beginning of Rahasya Trayasara, Swami Vedanta Deshika talks about certain things. He talks about the greatness of the Guru Parampara. There, he talks about Krishna and the path shown by him, and then Madhura Kavi Alvar and the path shown by him. What does he say about Krishna? You know, Krishna is the supreme being, he is Paramatma. He had descended to the earth, he had come down. Despite being the supreme being, he came down to meet ordinary people like us. He is the greatest. You might see plenty of bosses in companies. But how many of them would really go down and speak and interact with the ordinary employees? There are so many rich people out there. How many of them would bother to make friends with those who are poor? You don't see it everywhere. But you see these kinds of auspicious qualities in Bhagavan. Krishna came down, interacted with ordinary people. One fruit seller, he will talk to them. Then one person who is washing clothes, he will talk to that man also. Who did Krishna not talk to? He talked to anybody and everybody. Sudama was so poor, but Krishna embraced him as well. So, Krishna comes down to the earth and interacts with ordinary people like us. Despite being at the top, he comes down to our level and he makes himself easily available. He makes himself easily accessible to all of us. That is the greatness of Krishna. Now, a person might ask, is Krishna really making himself so easy to attain? He is so easy to access. So easy to attain, yes, through Sharanagati, which is the core of Vishishtadvaitha philosophy. Then, is Krishna also making it easy to access him? Yes. How Krishna Avatara happened so long ago. They say it happened 5,000 years ago. Today I cannot see Krishna anywhere. How can I access him? No, you can still access him through Archavataras. We have already in the past classes discussed about the concept of avatars. We talked about the 5 types of avatars: Para, Vyuha, Vibhava, Antaryami, and Archa. So, among these, the fifth one is Archa, where Bhagavan is available to us in the form of Vigrahas in temples, or even easier as Shaligrama. All of these are avatars of Bhagavan. They are all forms of Vishnu. We have to pray to him there. So they are so easy to reach out to. I go to a temple, I look at Bhagavad Vigraha, I pray, I say my prayers. Yes, I get the phala. I get the fruit. I get the fruit. That is what happens. Why does he do all of these? Does he have anything to gain for himself? No, he does not have anything to gain for himself. In fact, Bhagavan is avapta samasta kama. What does the word mean? Avapta samasta kama. Just give me a second, I will tell you. Avapta samasta kama means he who does not have any desire that is yet to be fulfilled. In other words, anything and everything that Bhagavan desires is already fulfilled. There is nothing that he is waiting for. There is nothing that he wanted and failed to achieve. Whatever he wanted, he always achieved. There is nothing that he failed to achieve. That is the greatness of Bhagavan. Therefore, everything that he does, we said, Lokavattu Leela Kaivalyam. Vedavyasa said, Lokavattu Leela Kaivalyam. Everything is Leela. All that you see, creation, preservation, destruction, appearing in front of devotees, giving blessings, all of that is Leela. Why is it called Leela? Because there is nothing to gain from it. Okay. But if there is nothing to gain from it, why is he still indulging in that Leela? It is to confer blessings upon devotees. It is to help the jivas. Nammalvar composed Tiruvaimuri. In two different verses of the Tiruvaimuri, he talks about this nature of Bhagavan. There, Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan, a Shishya of Bhagavad Ramanuja, has written in the commentary. At one place, he calls Bhagavan as Ashrita Paritranaika Swabhava. At another place, he says Ashrita Paritranaika Bhoga, if I am not wrong, implying that there is only one nature of Bhagavan. What is that? That is helping the devotees, saving the devotees. Of course, we already saw when you say Paritranaya Sadhunam, it does not necessarily mean saving the lives of people who are saintly. It means their life, the life of those who are the greatest saints. Their life itself is Bhagavan. They seek darshan of Bhagavan. They seek experience of Bhagavan. So for them, what is Raksha? Raksha is giving them that experience. That is the reason why he takes avatars. So, Bhagavan, his very nature is that of helping us in that way. Think about anything that Bhagavan does. Anything and everything that Bhagavan does is a form of compassion that he is showing to us. It is a form of benefit that he is giving to his devotees. Krishna will steal butter. That is also a benefit to the devotee. We praise him. In North India, if you go, they will call him Makanchor, Makanchor. They celebrate Krishna that way. Yes, he stole butter. Krishna will run away from the battlefield from Jarasandha as though he is a coward. Devotees will praise that also. They would praise that also. They will say, look, he has ranchod. He has left the Ranabhumi. He has run away from the battlefield. Let us enjoy the episode of the Almighty running away from the battlefield and pretending that he does not have the ability to defeat the enemy. So, whatever he does is something that is enjoyable. Whatever he does is a way to give blessings to devotees. So he is Ashrita Paritranaika Swabhava. He has many more qualities, right? He is the ultimate refuge for all of us. Swami Deshika says this in Rahasya Trayasara. But in his two different stotras, we see the same thing reflected. In one stotra, he says, Tvai Rakshati Rakshakaih Manyaihi. In another stotra, he says, Bhayam Kutasyat Tvaisa Anukampe. If I am to be saved by you, Will there be anything for me to be saved by others from? There will be nothing. When you are there to protect me, how will there ever be fear in me? Bhayam kutasyat tvai sanukampe. Raksha kutasyat tvai jataroshi. And if you are not there to protect me, how will there be any kind of protection? Deshika asks. So, therefore, he says, Natham tvadanyam navibhavayami. I do not consider anybody to be my Lord other than you. That is what Deshika is saying. But what is Madhura Kavi Alvar doing? What Deshika does seems to be very logical, right? But what is Madhura Kavi Alvar doing? He is not saying Natham Tvadanyam Navibhavayami to Bhagavan. He is saying that to Nammalvar. We are going to see why. Of course, it is not a contradiction anywhere between what Madhura Kavi Alvar has done and what Swami Deshika has said. We just need to understand the concept better. Krishna is the final goal for all of us. He has explained it very clearly in the Gita. He is the destination. And he has come in various forms. He has behaved like a mother to children, how the mother would always think about the benefit of her children. In that way, he has always thought about how to help us, how to protect us. That is how he has been. In fact, we say, Petratayinu Mayinaseyum, Narayana ennum Nama. That name, Narayana, just reciting that name could give us more benefits, could give us a greater protection, greater love and affection than what even a mother could offer. No offense to mothers here, of course. We are talking about Paramatma. He is like the mother of the entire universe. Of course, he has behaved like a father as well. He was a father in Krishna Avatara. He was a father in Rama Avatara. All of that he has done. In Krishna Avatara, he even goes to battle to save his grandson. Bhagavan has been a brother as well. Like, for example, to Indra, he was a brother, a younger brother of Indra called Upendra. So he comes in various forms and he behaves in various different ways. He plays all sorts of roles. Why? To make us get attracted towards him. What does he gain from it? He gains nothing. Everything is for us. He doesn't have any desire. We have the desires, but he treats the desires of us devotees also as his own desires. That is the greatness of Krishna. In fact, in fact, there is a story of a certain Alvar. We are going to see, of course. There is a story of a great Alvar, a great saint praying to Bhagavan. That saint, if he had desired only moksha, it would have been a different thing. But he also started desiring a woman. Bhagavan could have thought, if he prays to me, I will give him moksha. If he wants me, I can grant him Vishnupada. But if he is seeking a woman, why should I help him there? Krishna can stay away, right? Bhagavan can stay away. He doesn't have to help. But no, Bhagavan plays a Leela. He plays a beautiful Leela. He ensures that the person is not leaving Bhakti Bhava. He is returning to the state of complete Bhakti. And at the same time, Bhagavan ensures that his relationship, worldly relationships, they are not affected. Why? Yes, he might be imperfect, but he has desired something. Whatever he has desired, where it is bad, I will stop it. Where it is to the extent where he is trying to move away from me, I will pull him back. Where it is not necessarily sinful, I will ensure that his desire gets fulfilled. That's what Bhagavan did. What does he do in the process? In that process, Bhagavan removes all the sins of people. Who can remove all the sins of people? Do you know? Even Ganga cannot remove all the sins. We say it can remove, but it is said by the scriptures that in Kali Yuga, people would become so sinful that Ganga water would be overused. It would run out of the ability to heal their sins because their sins would be so many. Ganga cannot. Narmada cannot. Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Yamuna, Saraswati. No. Bhagavan can. Who can remove all imperfections? One who is perfect. You know, there is one movie. In that movie, they ask, who could be an informer about people who take bribes? Definitely, that has to be a person who himself does not take any bribe. In the same way, who can take us away from all the sins, all the imperfections? Only a person who is not imperfect can do that. Who is that? That is Sakshat Bhagavan. So he removes all the sins of people. All your sins get removed. My Pracharya composed a beautiful shloka. Was it my Pracharya or was it his Acharya? I don't remember. But there was a very beautiful shloka. Once he was traveling. He met Bhagavan as a Vigraha in a temple procession. So there Rama was coming. He instantly composed a Sanskrit shloka. It was my Purvacharya, Venkatashesharya Mahadeshika Swami. He composed a shloka. अन्यादृक्षमदीय दिव्य सुषमा सेवा क्रियाध्यक्षणे प्रद्वस्था किल कल्मषेन तजने पाश्चात्य सेवा फलम किं कुर्यामिति चिन्तये स तु ममाजानन्मनो याचते निःशेषागतिं मुहुर्मुहुरिति स्मेरोसि सीतापते. What did he say? Hey Sitapate, O Rama, the moment a person salutes you, you who is full of auspicious qualities, the moment one salutes you, all the sins of that person are immediately destroyed. All of that is immediately destroyed. Now, they are all destroyed, but the devotee does not realize it. O Rama, O Rama, who is blessing this village of Vaduvur, that Vigraha of Rama, it is quite popular. Especially in Tamil Nadu these days, it is extremely popular. If I'm not wrong, there is a TV channel called Shri Shankara, where they show the Utsavas happening in the temple as well. They show it live. It used to be very, very empty otherwise, if not for the Kainkariya done by a few great Bhagavatas, we wouldn't be having it that popular today. But anyway, the Utsava Vigraha of Rama there is smiling. He has a very beautiful smile. So the Acharya says, the moment one salutes you for your auspicious qualities, all their sins are destroyed. You seem to smile at the foolishness of the devotee as he prays to you a second time. Why? Because the first time itself you destroyed all the sins and you granted all the wishes of the devotee the first time the devotee prayed itself. Now, what do you have to give the devotee? You removed all the sins. You granted all the wishes. What more can you do for the devotee? There is nothing more that you can do for the devotee. But the devotee still says your name, still prays to you. You are smiling at that. You seem to be smiling at that. Your smile appears to be indicating that. So, in this way, he celebrated the auspicious quality of Bhagavan. Bhagavan removes all the sins of people. Is there anything else that Bhagavan does? Yes, of course. What did we say? We said Bhagavan removes sins. And is there anything else that Bhagavan have? Yes, Bhagavan is void of sins. He is Nikhila Heya Pratyanika. He is also Kalyanaikatana. He is the storehouse of infinite groups of auspicious qualities. So, what does he do? He not only removes the sins of people, he also gives auspicious qualities to everyone. Very beautiful, right? That is the greatness of Bhagavan. It cannot be explained fully in words, but it can be experienced. The love that Bhagavan has for us can only be experienced. Words are not sufficient to explain them. That is his level, right? Now let us look at the qualities of Nammalvar. Nammalvar was a devotee of Krishna. That is the only qualification Nammalvar had. As a pure devotee of Krishna, he had knowledge of how to attain Krishna, and therefore he taught that to Madhurakavi Alvar. Nammalvar taught in understandable Tamil words in a local language how to reach and attain Krishna. Remember, Nammalvar did not teach how to reach myself. How to reach Nammalvar, he did not teach. He could have taught people how to reach me. You do this, you can reach me. You do that, you can reach me. He did not. Why? Because Nammalvar did not consider himself to be the greatest. He considered Krishna to be the greatest. So he did not say, come to me. He said, come to Krishna. That is what he said. So what would an intelligent person do? Look at Krishna, who has all of these qualities. Would you go to that Krishna? Or would you go to Nammalvar, who is a devotee of Krishna, who acknowledges that he is imperfect? We said that to come out of imperfection, we require the blessings of the perfect being. Who should we really go to then? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, surrender to me. Does he say surrender to me? He says a little more. What does Krishna say? Do you know? Krishna says, surrender only to me. Krishna says, surrender only to me. Do you know that? Krishna said, surrender only to me. Sarva dharman parityajya. He did not say Mam Sharanam Raja. He said Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. So Krishna has said, surrender to me alone. And aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. I will free you from all your sins. Ma shuchaha. No doubt. Krishna has said that. What does Nammalvar say? Nammalvar says the same thing. Nammalvar says you surrender to Krishna. Does Nammalvar say surrender to anybody other than Bhagavan? Does Nammalvar say you go surrender to some Tom, Dick and Harry? No. He also says surrender to Krishna. He also celebrates Krishna. He also celebrates Bhagavan. Logically, what conclusion would you make based on this? Krishna says, come to me. Namalvar says, go to Krishna. If you believe Krishna's words, you will go to Krishna. If you believe Namalvar's words, you would still go to Krishna. Correct? That is what you should be doing. You should be surrendering to Krishna. Madhura Kavi Alvar, as it is recorded, he focused only on his Acharya. He did not focus on Krishna. How is this logical? Firstly, we saw that Krishna is great beyond comparison with anybody. You compare him even with a Nitya Suri, Krishna will be superior. Yes, he is superior. He is the supreme person. Yet, despite being the supreme, and despite even Nammalvar saying that you should surrender to Krishna in his teachings, we see Madhura Kavi Alvar thinking all the time and behaving as a Sharanagata, pure Sharanagata of Nammalvar. How is this fair? How is this even logical? It sounds silly, right? Krishna says surrender to me. Nammalvar says surrender to Krishna. What is common? Surrender to Krishna. That is only common. This appears to be a little silly, but it is not at all silly. In fact, Swami Vedanta Deshika, we said, right, all of these 9 points, how did we arrive at these in this particular order? He has mentioned these in this way. Uh, he has written so in Rahasya Trayasara. Krishna, despite all of those qualities, his path, that is the path of performing surrender to Krishna, showing bhakti to Krishna, is still a level inferior to the path chosen by Madhura Kavi Alvar. Swami Deshika calls the path chosen by Madhura Kavi Alvar as the safe path. How is it safer? Can you believe that it is safer? What do you mean by it is safer? A safe path is one where you are not robbed, correct? If you are going from one place to another, let us say you are going from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Along the way, if nobody steals what you have, nobody comes and attacks you, then that path is safe. In the same way, Pleshika says the safest path is that of Madhura Kavi Alvar. Let us forget about this a little for a short period of time. We'll think about it again next class. But for this class, there is one last topic that we have to cover, very much related. Let us go back to the days of Ramayana. Throwback Tuesday. Let us go back to Ramayana. Rama was Sakshat Bhagavan. Correct? Rama said Atmanam Manusham Manye. Yes, but in what context did he say? We have to understand. Rama is called as Paramatma in Balakanda, in Ayodhya Kanda, in Yuddha Kanda, in Uttarakanda, in the Kandas before that also. Everywhere he is called as Paramatma. He is called that way in Padma Purana, in Vishnu Purana, in Bhagavatam, and in certain Upanishads as well, and in Pancharatra. So Rama was not just a human, he was Paramatma himself, who had appeared like a human. This is accepted by everybody. Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, all of them accept. Only modern people have problems with that. Rama was the Almighty. He was an avatara of Vishnu. How was Rama? Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. Sadhu Satya Parakrama. So Rama was the perfect man. He was the embodiment of dharma. He was always so full of truth, so perfect in every single aspect, so perfect in behavior. Look at how he behaves with Kaikeyi. Rama goes to Dasharatha. Dasharatha is crying. He is not speaking a word. Kaikeyi says, "Oh Rama, Dasharatha wants you to go to the forest." Do you think Rama doesn't understand what is going on? Rama knows what is going on. Rama understands that Dasharatha has been trapped. But he still speaks very politely with Kaikeyi. As a matter of fact, he tells Sita to serve Kaikeyi also the same way she serves Kausalya. Rama says, I do not distinguish between my mothers. Such a level of perfection. Where will you see it? Imagine you meet an enemy like Ravana, who has gone everywhere he went. He kept abducting women, he kept destroying things, he used a lot of adharma. All of that is mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana. All the evil things done by Ravana. Unfortunately, even he is praised these days. Let us ignore that part. This Ravana, you if you defeat him once, will you want to spare him? What if he comes back the second day and defeats you? You need to work towards the winning of dharma, correct? Can you really forgive just like that? Rama could forgive. Why? Because of two reasons. He was the best at forgiving. That is reason number one. Reason number two, he was the best at warfare as well. Rama could never ever have been defeated by Ravana, no matter how many times he tried. We do not have that level of perfection. We are not great warriors of dharma. We don't even understand the of dharma. How can we be warriors of dharma? We do not have the capability to establish dharma wherever we go. We try. Sometimes we might succeed by the grace of God. Sometimes we fail. The level of perfection shown by Rama was 100% perfect. We are not perfect. We cannot be perfect. Sita herself says, Nakaschin na paradhyati. There is nobody who has not performed any aparadha. So we are all imperfect beings. We have to accept it. So no matter how much we try, we can never be exactly like Rama. We cannot follow him perfectly. Of course, we should still try to follow, but we cannot be the best. That's all. We have to accept. Can we be like Lakshmana? What did Lakshmana do? He performed seva to Bhagavan. He performed seva to Rama. Remember, we discussed this verse, Central Kudayam. So, Lakshmana performed various kainkaryas to Bhagavan. It is the nature of Adishesha. Wherever Rama goes, that is how he behaves. Lakshmana accompanied Rama to the forest. Lakshmana said, Oh brother, oh dear brother, wherever you go, I would like to come with you. First, Lakshmana said, Don't go to the forest. Rama said, No, no, I have to go to the forest. Father has given a promise. It is my duty to uphold it. It is the duty of a Kshatriya to uphold dharma and everything Rama says. Then Lakshmana says, If you are going, I am also coming with you. Rama tries to dissuade Lakshmana. Why do you want to come to the forest? It is not an easy path. It is full of thorns, it is full of difficulties. You can be here itself. Lakshmana doesn't want to do it. Lakshmana wants to go to the forest and perform seva to Rama. So he accompanied Rama and performed all types of services. Can we do that? Bring a Rama in front of me. Then only I will know how much seva I can do. We might even get annoyed if we see Bhagavan in front of us. And if we see Bhagavan behaving like Rama, we might get annoyed because we are not dharmic enough. We might get annoyed at what he is doing. Instead of fighting for the kingdom and throwing Kaikeyi away, he goes to the forest. What sort of person is he? once he finds out that Sita has been kidnapped, instead of immediately taking a Brahmastra and directing it at Ravana, he decides to first go to Lanka and do everything. Step by step, Rama does. He could have killed Vali in an instant. He did not do even that. Sugriva got annoyed. So we see that performing seva to Rama is not so easy. And also, where is Rama right now? I don't see him near me. I don't see him anywhere else. The only thing I see is his Vigraha, but his Vigraha doesn't even move. It is there in the temple. Let us look at Bharata. Bharata performed seva to something similar. Bharata performed seva to Rama Paduka, the footwear of Rama, the holy footwear, Paduka Devi. Paduka is praised, Rama Paduka is praised by Swami Deshika in 1000 shlokas. It is called Paduka Sahasram. Bharata stayed as a representative of Rama for as long as Rama was away during the entire period of exile. What did Bharata do? He placed the footwear of Rama on the throne and he stayed as a representative of Rama. Now look at us. Yes, Bhagavan is there in the form of Vigrahas in temples. We already said it. But we don't even perform seva to Vigrahas properly. All these years, Hindus did not do much. They did not even protest so much for Ayodhya and Krishna Janmabhoomi and Rama Janmabhoomi. How many people even demanded peacefully? Peacefully, I am asking. Peaceful protests were also not so much. If you compare the number of people who demanded with the Hindu population of India, you would understand. So forget about the movements and everything. Think about just prayer. Think about just devotion. How many people donate? When people at Ayodhya started the donation drive, they got crores of rupees in 4 digits. But there are plenty of local temples, nearby temples, which are in ruin. Some of them might be ancient, but we might not have priests there. There are places in North India where temples are absent or the temples are too modern because due to repeated invasions, new temples were not built. And those that were built are random temples maintained by random people. Are we really performing enough seva to the temples, to the vigrahas? How many people even go to the temple every day? Or how many people pray to Bhagavan in some form or the other? It is again a very difficult thing to do. It doesn't seem practical. How can we be a perfect devotee like Bharata? We are imperfect. Who should we follow? The last brother among the four, Shatrughna. About him, not much is said until Uttarakanda. Until Uttarakanda, not much is said about Shatrughna. But what did Shatrughna do? Shatrughna performed service to Bharata. This is mentioned by Valmiki at the start itself. But Shatrughna always liked to do seva to Bharata. Who was Bharata? Not the perfect Rama. He was a human being. Bharata was a Bhagavata. He was a Rama Bhakta, right? Therefore, Bharata was a Bhagavata. What Shatrughna did was Bhagavata Seva. That is the only thing that we all can do. That is the easier path for all of us. The easiest path for all of us. Remember, Bhagavan exists as Paraswarupa in Vaikuntha. I can't even see him. Vyuhavatar as Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. I cannot see them. In fact, 99.99% of Hindus do not know about them. Then Vibhava avatars, they came and went away. I did not see them. Now he might come as Kalki after so many thousands of years. I may not be there at that time. In which life will I be? What am I going to do? What is the guarantee? Okay. Antaryami, yes, he is there inside of me, but I cannot see him. Archa, oh, he is there. He is there in the temples. But I am still not able to do seva properly to him. Call it Kalikala, call it my own Papa Karma. But there is one thing that I can definitely do properly. That is Bhagavata Seva. That is the only thing that we all can do perfectly, properly. So, Shatrughna showed that Bhagavata Seva is extremely great and it has a great Mahima that should ring a bell to us. What did Nammalvar do? Nammalvar prayed to Krishna. What did Madhurakavi Alvar do? He prayed to Nammalvar. Do you see the connection? We'll explain this connection further in the next lecture. For now, we will conclude the class. If there is any question, feel free to let me know.
Swamiji, I have a question.
Yes.
You told 5 types of avatar of Bhagwan. Can you please explain?
Para means supreme. Okay. Like how we say Paramatma, Parabrahma. One of the meanings of the word para is supreme. As the
Yes.
supreme being, he has his fundamental default form in the supreme abode. Vaikunthe tu pare loke shriyasardham jagatpatihi. That is what the scriptures say. He has a supreme abode, paraloka. He resides in the supreme abode. In the supreme abode of Vaikuntha, along with Shri, the Lord of all the worlds, Jagatpati, Sriman Narayana, is residing. There, his default form is called Paraswarupa, Paravasudeva. By such names he is called. Then he takes a specific type of avatar called Vyuha Avatara. Vyuha Avataras are 4 in number: Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Vasudeva is Shadgunya Vapu. He has Jnana, Bala, Aishwarya, Virya, Shakti, Tejas. The other 3 have two gunas among these 6, which are highlighted by them. They have the other qualities as well, but they specifically highlight and focus on two qualities. Therefore, 3 of them, other than Vasudeva: Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. These are called Vyuha Avataras. Then there is Vibhava Avatara. All the Dashavatara that you talk about, or outside the Dashavatara, like Hayagriva, Mohini, Dhanvantari, Vedavyasa, Kapila, all of them are Vibhava Avataras. Then there is another way in which Bhagavan resides in all of us. He resides in us as Antaryami, inside of all of us. He is the indweller of all of us. Veda calls him Antaryami. Then finally, Bhagavan is available to us in the form of Vigrahas in temples. So, there also, as per Vaishnava Agamas, if you perform Pratishtha to the Vigraha, yes, it is stone, yes, we are only sculpting it and everything, but eventually, once the Pratishtha is done, the Vigraha is taken as Bhagavan himself, not as a representation of him, but as an avatara of him. Therefore, if you pray to the Vigraha, you will get the benefits. You need not necessarily pray to the Bhagavan inside of it. Why? Vivekananda said we pray to that deity who is inside of the Vigraha. We are not seeing it that way because that deity is outside of the Vigraha as well. That deity is everywhere. Antar Bahishya Tatsarvam says Veda. He is everywhere. Guru Nanak once asked, "Oh, if you are stopping me from keeping my feet towards the Vigraha, are you implying that there is no Bhagavan in the other directions? Is he only inside the Sannidhi of the temple? Is he only in the form of the Vigraha? Is he restricted by space?" Guru Nanak asked that question, they say. So the Almighty is not restricted by space. He is everywhere. He is Vibhu, omnipresent. Yet, we cannot perceive him, we cannot feel him because of our own imperfections. Therefore, with great compassion, he allowed us to worship him in the form of Vigrahas by giving us the knowledge of Agamas. That is called Archavatara. These are the 5 types. Is it clear?
Yes, Swamiji.
Thank you very much. And throwback to Ramayana illustrated the concept very clearly. Very nice of you.
Okay.
Easy path was made very easy to understand.
Thank you for that. If there is any other question, feel free to let me know. If not, we will conclude today's session. Okay, nothing is coming up, so let us conclude. Asmat Gurubhyo Namah, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namah, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namah. Thank you for attending.